Hello, Mickey UK here with a tutorial on how to compile Smash Soda for your own personal use. Now, the reason we have to do this is because Parsec is concerned with um, people just passing around these mystery soda builds because they could contain God knows what and you wouldn't know. Um, so it's really just Parsec trying to protect you, the end user, um, as well as the fact that some changes need to be made to Soda in order to use the new login system. So I put together this easy to follow video tutorial on how to compile it for yourself. So what you want to start by doing is going to this address here, Visual Studio microsoft.com/downloads, and I will put a link in the video description below. So when you come to this page, what you want to do is you want to come down here to, I should also say that I'm using a cloud PC in the US, generously donated to me by server member Fumbles, who know a lot of you may know. But that will explain why I've got two mouse cursors. So in case people are puzzled by that. But anyway, so if we go to the community edition here, click free download. We download that, should be pretty quick. Start her up. And wait for that to install. Okay, so once that's installed, shouldn't have taken too long. Get ready for the next bit because this bit's going to take a while. We have to install a bunch of programming tools and setting up our development environment. So in this window, we scroll down till we find this desktop development with C++. Smash Soda is developed in the C++ programming language, so we need that. So if you check that, then it will show you all the things that we're going to need. I think all the default files should be okay. If not, then I will probably re-record this tutorial. But let's see if we can get it done in one take. So if we click install and wait for this to finish. Now this might take a while if you've not got a great great connection and slow computer. So I recommend going off and putting the kettle on and then coming back. Okay, so once that's done, you might see a big pop-up like this asking you to sign in. Now, as far as I know, you can use Visual Studio without signing in. So you're not interested in creating an account. I think you would need an account if you were wishing to, well, they say here if you want to use some of these extra features, which we don't really need, so we can say skip for now. Then you can choose your theme preference. I mean, real programmers go with dark mode. Click that, wait a few more minutes, and then I think it will try and start itself up. Okay, so once you've launched Visual Studio 2022, you should see this window here with a few options on the side here. What we want to do is clone a repository. So if you click that, then we enter the repository URL in this box here, which is, and you'll find this down below in the video description as well. The repository lives here at github.com/mickeyuk/smash-soda. And in the path, you can actually specify where these files get saved on your computer. I'll just leave mine on the default there. Then you click clone, and Visual Studio will do all of the work for you. Very nice. Now, when you first start the project, you might see something like this. Right? And if you come down to the bottom here, you should see this Git changes here. So if you click that, you've got some buttons at the top here. And so whenever there's an update made to the repository, probably by me, unless I'm working with somebody else on the project, not very likely, Billy no mates, nobody working with me on this, you can very easily pull whatever changes that I've made to Smash Soda with this button here, pull. So if you click that, then it'll do all the work for you. It'll automatically go to that repository, grab all the most recent files, pull them in. In this case, nothing's been updated yet, so you'll get this message here that there were no changes to pull. But you can go a step further with this. If we go to View and then Git repository, then you can actually see a timeline of all the changes that were made to the repository, with the most recent change being at the top here. And you can also verify the author of the person that pushed that code to the repo. And this is done in a very special way. Whenever I push code to the repository, I always digitally sign it so that GitHub can verify that I am indeed Mickey. If you hover over it, you can find some information about me. And that's just to prove that I am who I say I am when I added that code. So if you, I sometimes also sign in as Michael. So Michael or Mickey, those are both me, rest assured. But if you see any kind of sus off, it should almost always be me. I would make some announcement if I was working with somebody on Smash Soda. If you see any author that isn't me, then ping me. Ping me on Discord, because something's maybe not right there. So what you can do is, you see here that my last change to this repository was that I updated the README file. So if you double click that, you can actually review the changes that I actually made. So on the left side is what the file looked like before, and on the right side is what the file looks like after the changes. And you see, when you see these diagonal lines like that, that means that something was that there was nothing there before, like that, like there was a bunch of there was just sort of nothing there. There was space there. And then when you see green highlighted text on the right side, that means something was added. If something was actually removed, something that existed there before but was taken away, then that would be highlighted in red. And you can see here also that it will show you how many new lines was added to that file. In this case, I simply added a notice to everybody in the README, in the README, telling people that Parsec had shut down the arcade service. So the useful thing about this is that whenever you pull changes from the repository, you can always yourself review any changes that was made to Smash Soda before you build it. that way keeping yourself safe. Okay, so we should now be ready to actually build the application. To do that, we have to come up here to this drop down and select Release. And then here is where you would set the architecture for your computer, whether you have a 64-bit, if you have a 32-bit architecture, then you would select x86. If you're not sure, just put it on x64. And then after that, all we have to do is click the play button. And this process might take a while, especially if you've got a slow computer and a slow hard drive. So put the kettle on again, come back in about 5-10 minutes. Okay, so if all has gone well, you should see Smash Soda with a login form where you can enter in your Parsec username and password and a two-factor authentication code if you have one. If you have 2FA enabled on your account, then you would hit login and you'd be in. Things can always go wrong. I've tried to think of everything to make sure that this will just build for everybody, no issues. But if something has gone wrong for you, if you're not seeing Smash Soda, or it's popped up with an error, or all kinds of gobbledygook in the output that you don't understand, then you can join the Discord if you're not a member already. The link to the Discord is in the video description below. Once you join the Discord, if you come to the Soda Support Forum under the Smash Soda category, then I've created a master thread here where you can post any issues, screenshots, anything that you can give me, error messages, and I will try to work out why it's not building for you. I imagine there's probably going to be hundreds of errors in there, and I'll try to get to everybody, but hopefully it should work. Now that that's built, where does it put it? Well, it puts it, let's close that down. We want go to where you've saved your, where you cloned the repository to on your computer. Go inside that folder, and then you should see a folder labeled x64. Go in there, release, and here you are. Here's the Smash Soda that you've just built. Now, I've also developed a new overlay for Smash Soda that will allow the host to be able to see what people are saying in the room, as well as chat with their guests. So if the host doesn't have more than one monitor, they can't put Smash Soda on one monitor and host their game on another, so they can't see what's being said. So the overlay makes it very easy for the host to be able to chat with everybody. To enable the overlay, we've got to do a few steps. In this folder, in your build folder, you want to create a folder called overlay, like so. Then you want to come to this page here. Again, there'll be a link below in the video description. You want to go to github.com/mickeyuk/smash-soda-overlay-releases-tag-1.0.0. And that will take you here. So what you want to do is read all this, so you're aware of what it does, familiarize with it. So basically what it'll do is it'll allow the host to press Control Shift and C, which will bring up a little text box for them to chat with people in the room. It does have limitations, which I've explained here. But to use it, we want to download this file here, this zip file. So if you click that, save it somewhere. I'm just going to save it to the desktop. And that should already have downloaded. Yep, okay. And then all you want to do is you want to open that up and put all of those files inside the overlay folder. Then give it a moment. There's a lot of files. Okay, so if all has gone well, in theory, you should be good to go. You should see a working build of Smash Soda where you can customize your room and all of that. There are a few new features. A lot of it I haven't finished yet, so there'll be a bit of jank. I'll try and fix this over time. And as I say, as you saw early in the tutorial, all you would have to do if I make changes is click that little pull button, and that would pull in all of the changes that I've made to the repository, where you would be able to review all the code I've added and then compile it for yourself if you're happy. So I'll give a quick overview of some of the new features. I've moved a lot of the hot seat stuff to its own widget. So that's here with a little chair on fire. It'll show you a queue of everybody that's queued up to go in the hot seat. But the biggest feature I've added is that you can now add multiple hot seats. So say if you were hosting a 2-player game and you had a full lobby, then you could set seats to 2 and it will cycle 2 people at a time through the queue. So that's new. Some of these extra features, the AFK and the pause on swap, I might not have wired up yet. I can't remember. I've been very busy. I will fix that though. I'll fix everything in time, so bear with me. But these two work. However, the seats might be a little jank. So what I recommend doing if you're wanting to keep changing the seats value is after you've started your is to set the seats that you want first before enabling hot seat. So if you had started hot seat with 4 seats and then you click that, when you want to change the seats, disable hot seat first before changing your seat count, and that should hopefully fix any potential issues like that. And what else did I add? The kiosk mode needs a bit more work, so that's disabled. At the moment, you can enable it there, but it won't do anything. But when it is finished, the kiosk mode will work with this new widget, the library widget. And this is where you can tell Smash Soda where some of your games and apps are located. And this will work with the kiosk mode for launching it if, say, if that game got closed or crashed or what have you. See, if you come here to add game, then you can add your game here. Let's just say test game, and then you would put wherever that game lives on your computer, what default options. The game ID is not valid anymore. That was something that Parsec needed for the thumbnails. That's going to get removed at some point. I'll remove that in the next version. But if you click save, then you've got a delete option if you want to remove that, or edit it if you want to make any changes to it. And then what you would be able to do then is if you come to your hosting widget, you can now select that game from the drop down, and it would automatically populate all the settings and configure your room for that game. So pretty convenient. But don't use it just yet. Wait until I've pinged everyone with an update to that. I will try to keep people informed about updates to Smash Soda through my blog at mickeyuk.com and on the Discord server in the server announcements. I've made a new Smash Soda role, so if you assign yourself the Smash Soda role in the Discord server, you'll always be pinged when there's Smash Soda news and updates. So let me show you one of the cooler new features, is that there's now a built-in overlay, providing you followed the installation guide for the overlay. So if you have that checked and launch your room, you see that's the hot seat working. The hot seat, when hot seat's enabled, it will actually disable your access to the gamepad widget. This is just to prevent any issues, basically, because if the host is messing around with gamepads, that could confuse hot seat and thus maybe potentially crash Smash Soda. So that was me trying to protect hosts from themselves a little bit. The hot seat's in charge. So that's one thing that's new. And so you see it automatically created the 2 pads because we set seats to 2. But you don't care about that. You want to see the overlay working. So if you hold Control, Shift, and C, you'll see a text box in the top left corner. Whilst the text box is visible, you won't be able to click on anything on your screen because Control, Shift, and C is telling the overlay that needs to be on top of everything. So that's why it will no longer respond to your mouse anywhere. To get your mouse control back, you have to press Control, Shift, and C again to now be able to use your mouse again over things. So do remember that. So if you press Control, Shift, and C, you can now chat with your guests in the room. And you see that they appear in little bubbles here. Yo! So it's a very nice, easy way for the host to be able to see what people are actually saying in the room. Helpful if you don't have a dual display, if you don't have another monitor that you can put Soda on and your game on another. So that's a cool new feature. And what else is new? Oh yes, I should also say about the overlay is that the overlay should close itself when you stop your room or you close Smash Soda. But there could be instances where it doesn't close. In that case, you would need to come to, like you see, if you go into your system tray, you'll see that the overlay is actually represented in your system tray. So if the overlay didn't close properly, it's always good to check the system tray after you finish hosting to see if the overlay did close. If it didn't, you can simply right-click it and force it to close. So you can say quit. So that's just a little troubleshooting. If something's gone wrong with Smash Soda, maybe it crashed, then that's a quick way of getting rid of the overlay. What else is new? Yeah, you can just disable the hot seat. Let me join the room myself through Parsec. Grab you. Pop you in there. And I'll show you another feature that it has. Come in here. So you see, I've given the guests list a bit of a redesign, where now the ID is shown, a user's ID is shown in blue and their latency is shown in green. I've gotten rid of a lot of the other metric values because I think most people didn't quite understand them or found them particularly useful. This was really all of the interest for them. I might redesign it so that I show some of the more important metrics or show it in a more kind of user-friendly way to display, maybe through like status messages and whatever. I'm still thinking about that. But for now, I kind of wanted to simplify the guest list. So that's what a guest looks like in your list. But there's other things you can do. If you right click a guest, you get some extra options where you can quickly make a user a VIP, which if you don't remember, the VIP system lets well, that might not work anymore now that the arcade's gone. I'm not sure. I've not tested it. But that will mark them as a VIP. And you can just keep clicking that to toggle it. So whenever, and so then that's an easy way for the guest to see, oh, that guest is a VIP. I made that guest a VIP. He's no longer a VIP. If somebody wants to be skipped in the hot seat, they can run a command called spectate, and then the hot seat will skip them if they're just here to watch people play. But the host can also mark someone as a spectator. I might have broke. Okay, it's broken, guys. Okay, so that doesn't work. I will fix it in an update. But what it would normally do is it would normally show a little eye icon, and that would tell the host that they are marked as a spectator. And so yeah, if you mark someone as a VIP, you can also see them in this VIP list, where you can also revoke their permissions there. So that's another little thing. And so yeah, hello. See, I can see that guest's chat on my overlay. So pretty cool. What else? Test the hot seat. So you see, it put me into the first slot there. But if you look at yes, when it's only one person, when there's not enough people to fill all the hot seats, the timer won't do anything. So the timer won't count down. The timer will only start counting down when there's actually people in your room to share the hot seat. But what you can also do is you can extend the time. So if you wanted to give, Mickey UK, I made a slight error with, well, I'll say them, but like if we say extend 5, then that would tell it to extend everybody's time by 5 minutes. But now say it's a bit hard to show when I don't have another test guest, but say if you wanted to extend the time for only one of the guests in seat 1 but not in seat 2, you can do that. The only thing is I've made the command a bit too confusing, so I'll fix this in the next version. But if you say extend 5 but then do a space and then the seat index, which you would think is 1, but it's actually 0, it starts at 0. I will fix that in the next update so that it is 1. If you're talking about seat 1, then you put in 1. But in this case, you would have to say 0 for player 1 for seat 1. You see, it knows what you were talking about. But if you were like extending it for seat 2, then you would put 5-1, and that would extend the timer for 5-1. So, and you can also decrease, so you can decrease time like that, and it will reduce the time. If you strip someone, it will put them back into this seat. It will either try to put somebody in the list. It's a bit hard to demonstrate when we don't have enough guests. There might be problems with the hot seat. Tell me in the server, report any bugs that you find. And also, if they do FF, because they're the only one in the guest in the queue, it will put them back into the. But you see in the chat log here, it says Mickey has given up their place in the hot seat. So it like changes the status message if they press FF or drop or whatever. But because he's the only one in the queue, it keeps putting him back into the seat. So he can do spectate. And then, there's the icon's there now. So it's just my drop down isn't working. I'll fix that. But it now acknowledges that he's spectating. And sure enough, he got removed from both the pad, and he got removed from the queue as well. And in theory, if he then unspectates, it will put him back in the queue. Well, you can just write spectate again. And there you are. It puts him back in the queue, and it puts him in a pad. So there you are. I think that's pretty much all the cool new stuff. I've got, well, there's some extra options that are hidden away because I haven't finished them yet, but expect cool things. Cool things. So have a good day.